ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਆਂਟੀ ਜੀ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਬੇਟਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਨਾਂ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ?
ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਪ੍ਰੀਤਮਿੰਦਰ।
ਓਕੇ, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਨਮ ਕਦੋਂ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ?
ਮੇਰਾ ਜਨਮ 1936 ਜਨਵਰੀ 1 ਨੂੰ ਹੋਇਆ
ਓਕੇ,
ਤੇ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਇਨ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ,
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
ਚੱਕ ਨੰਬਰ 530 ਨਾਰੰਗਵਾਲ।
ਓਕੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਪਿੰਡ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਸੀਗਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਪਿੰਡ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਸੀ ਚੱਕ ਨੰਬਰ 530 ਨਾਰੰਗਵਾਲ।
ਨਾਰੰਗਵਾਲ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਓਕੇ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਿਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੋਂ ਆਏ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ?
ਮੈਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ 1958 ਜਨਵਰੀ 22 ਨੂੰ ਆਈ ਸੀ
ਓਕੇ,
ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਇਆ
ਓਕੇ,
ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਹੀ ਵਾਸ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ਨ।
ਓਕੇ,
So when he went there, we were like new. I forgot because I was too young when we used to go to other relatives' weddings and so forth. I used to go with my father, and he used to go there too. And I don't remember, but our parents knew each other.
okay,
So when he was coming to Canada, one of his aunt told my father that I want your daughter's hand for my nephew,
okay,
and so that's how it was arranged that way. But when he came, he wanted to meet me, and my father first went there. He talked to him and all that. And then my father said, okay, you come to my village, but you wait outside the village.
okay,
And my man will come and meet you if it's a yes from my daughter. And then you come to the house.
okay,
And we were in, that my village was Muslims' village where we got our property and land. So there was that wasn't very good village at that time, all Khandar. So he came. It was a hot day. He first wanted to have cold drink, and then he wanted to have a tea. He just said everything is okay and have the passport ready and everything. I'd like to get married to this.
okay.
So that's how it was arranged. Then we got married in August 14, 1957.
Okay, and then right after you got married, you came to Canada?
His father died over here in Canada at that time when he was over there. So he had to fly back faster, sooner.
So you also flew with him?
No, he came back in October. I was there. And because he had to apply for me.
Yeah, do all the paperwork and stuff.
Yeah. And then there used to be a medical and all that. I passed all the medical. And I flew to Canada in January.
Okay, January of which year?
1957. 58.
1958, okay.
57 we got married.
Okay, and what was the very first city that you entered in Canada? Like, what was the port of entry?
First we were at Bangkok.
Okay.
From Delhi to Bangkok.
Okay.
Bangkok we had snacks, tea and all that. And then after Bangkok we were in Tokyo.
Okay.
We stayed a couple of days in Tokyo. And because the flight wasn't ready to come to Canada. And then from Tokyo we came to Vancouver Airport.
Okay. Okay, and when you landed in Canada in Vancouver for the very first time, how did you feel? Like, looking at the place, what were the kind of experiences that you faced, and what were do you have any memories of that time?
Yes, it was night time.
Okay.
Bright and all that, and all the lights. You were kind of looking around at it's a big city and all that. You in your mind you think, oh, it looks like it's a big city and all that. But I've been to Calcutta and all that, so the lights and all that didn't make me any difference. But my cousin went to England for higher study.
Okay.
I was very little at that time. And he used to send the books for me from there
Okay.
while he was studying. So little bit, and then I was in final BA when we got married. And I knew a little bit about the foreign countries and all that, how they are and things like that. It wasn't that bad, it wasn't that, and so I wasn't stunned by that.
You already kind of knew what you were gonna expect when you
Right.
get there, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then my mother-in-law and him and his uncles and all that, they were waiting for me over there
Okay.
at the airport. And his two uncles traveled with me
Okay.
at that time.
So then after landing in Vancouver, where did you stay? Did you right away came to Abbotsford or you stayed somewhere else?
No, we came to Mission because they lived in Mission at that time.
Okay.
He had a trucking business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so Mission and Abbotsford, are these the only two cities that you lived in
No.
Canada or you moved?
10 years, my children, 3 children, they were born in Mission.
Okay.
First my daughter, then 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 years we stayed in Mission.
Okay.
After that we moved to Surrey.
Okay.
And in Surrey we stayed 40 years.
14 years.
Yeah, 40. 40.
Okay, 40 years. Okay.
Yeah, so my children all had high school education from Surrey.
Okay.
And my daughter went to university in the UBC.
Okay.
Yeah, and she got a teacher's degree from there. Then she was teaching, and then she went again for further study
Okay.
to London, Ontario.
Okay. Very
She
nice.
got her journalism masters.
Okay. Okay.
And both boys, they just went to college
Very nice.
here and after that they didn't go for higher study.
Okay.
And I worked in Kmart. That was the first Kmart in BC.
So this is back when you initially came to Canada, like the very first 5 years. Is that when you started working, or you started working after that?
No, I started working when my younger son went to school.
Okay, so like that was how many years after you came to Canada, approximately?
Approximately it was 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years. Okay. So for the first 10, 11 years you didn't work. You
No, I did.
stayed at home.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
So how was your work life like when you started working? First time in Canada, like you got your very first job in Canada. What were the feelings that you kind of experienced at that time?
For first 5 years or 10 years, I felt, not, in my mind, I wasn't thinking that this is my place.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody knew me and I didn't have a personal, my own identity. I was there because of him and all that. There was no other people or nobody else knew me by my name. That was, I was feeling that.
You kind of felt out of place.
Right. And then when I started working, I worked 30 years in the Kmart.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a long time.
Yeah. First, I went to did the cashier course when we moved from here, from Mission
To Surrey.
to Surrey, and then Vancouver. I took a little course. It was 6 weeks or 7 weeks for a cashiers,
Okay.
just to know, how machines are run and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 30 years, I made lots of friends. Lots of people knew me. Then I was settled in my mind.
Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah. And like, did you keep on visiting India initially when you came to
Yes.
Canada? Okay. How frequently?
First time I went after, I came in 58, I went 1963.
Okay.
Yeah. Second time I went in 1967. After that, there was a gap of 13 years. And then in 81, my older son traveled with me. 81, I went twice because my daughter wanted to go in summer.
Okay.
So we went together. And after that, like every second years or third years. But after that, now from last 13, 14 years, I'm going every year.
Every year. Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
My cousin was there
Okay.
and I stayed with her. First 5 years, because I was busy with the kids. My kids born in the first 5 years. But still, I felt lonely inside. Like nobody was there for me.
Yeah.
I think maybe every girl is like that.
Yeah. No, could be. Yeah, because new place, you're coming for the
New
first
place,
time. Of
new
course,
people.
those things are bound to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, did rest of your family also move to Canada eventually?
My younger brother came to Canada. I think it was 1959, 60 when Harvey was born.
Okay. So soon after you came.
Yeah,
Okay.
59. Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that time, citizenship, I got it after a year. I just filled the forms. There was nothing.
Yeah, it was pretty simplified back then.
Yeah, I just went to the Notary Public and filled the application. I got the citizenship.
Yeah. Very nice.
And
very
then I
nice.
applied for my brother. Yeah.
Okay. And I also want to ask you, like, like after you started working, right? So how was the social life after like after the work life? Like, what all did you used to do? Let's say on the weekends, did you all get together and celebrate Indian festivals or anything of that sort? Like, how was the community and social life?
In community at that time, they would try to trying to mix with these people, so that your children are going there and they don't feel inferior. That's my own. That was my own decision.
Okay, mixed with these people, you mean like mixed with the people
Mixed
from
with
here?
Canadians.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay.
So like over here, first kindergarten was run by private,
Okay.
and it was $50 per month for if you want to send your child to kindergarten.
The kindergarten.
Or just because we were speaking Punjabi in the house,
Mm-hmm.
so we felt when child go to the school, all English. There was at that time very few people in mission, in our mission, but very few children too. So that's why we sent our daughter for the school. It was $50 a month and $1 was a pay.
Okay. Okay.
And then Harvey, our second child, and there was no school. Like private, personal, there was no kindergarten. And then for our third child, Fernbuck, his name Poma, we call him. And then again we sent him because there was a lady, she opened up the school.
Okay.
It was hard. We try to be a good citizen. So that was the I'll tell you because I was pregnant when I came to Canada.
Okay.
And we said we had a trucking business in our yard. There was trucks coming, the bodyguard driver,
Mm-hmm.
and they come in the yard, gas up, and I'll go. And I wasn't supposed to get out without with the Indian suit like type of deal. And so they got me the maternity clothes.
Okay.
Okay. Another funny thing I'll tell you, I was just, I think there was a couple of weeks I was in Canada. My mother-in-law and his aunt went to the store. They brought me the dress
Okay.
and they brought me the socks and all that. So they said, we are going to the New Westminster Gurdwara and you put this dress on and stocking and all that. I said, okay. And then his aunt went to my suitcase. She brought the matching dupatta.
Okay.
She said, I said, Chachi ji, yes, I'm not taking the dupatta. She said, why? Because latta nangiyan, sir takya. मैं जब मैं ड्रेस पानी है तो मैं सिर नहीं ढकना तो कहनी ला दे सूट पाला.
And then, I mean, at that time, like, how did people used to dress up for the gurdwaras? Like,
That's how they were
that's
going.
everyone used to
Yeah,
dress up like that.
yeah.
Okay.
And there used to be, yards and yards material sitting there in gurdwaras for ladies. So they'll sit and put that cloth on your legs.
Oh, okay.
And the dupatte chote chote and फिर इत्थे चमकदियां सुइयां. Because in India it was a little bit advanced than here.
Yeah. True.
Because those people were here from long time.
Long time,
Like
yeah.
especially my mother-in-law. She came in 1948. She was here long time. So that's how they were dressing up. And at that time we lived in Mission, even it's a small town. Eaton store was there. And our driver went into the Eaton store and that one of the workers said, there's a young girl in Mission. Yeah, do you know? He said, yes, young Hari got married. That's she's his wife.
So, okay, that's very interesting to know. And so, anything else that you want to share in the social aspect?
At that time, you probably heard from lots of people the weddings and things like they were not like now. I saw a wedding when I came. Willen was the family.
Okay.
And they lived in Zero. Not Zero, when going to the Hudson, Dudney.
Okay.
And we went there, they gave us cookies with the tea. And when we were coming home, they gave us 5 orange in a bag.
That's how it used to be back then.
And
yeah.
there was
very simple.
No mendi, no manya, no naitoi. Nothing like that. Very simple.
Very simple. Okay, and I also want to ask you, like how are the relations of the Punjabi community on the whole with the Aboriginal people in Canada?
And with the Canadians?
With the Canadians and also the Aboriginal people, like the First Nation
Indians.
people.
The Red Indians he's talking about.
The natives.
Native.
Hanji. Like in general, like how were the relations back then? 1960s, 70s when you were here.
No, I never had any relation with them, and I don't think they were invited to, like if we went for the dinner or somebody's birthday. I didn't see any of them over there.
Okay.
These people were not socializing very much.
Okay, with the Punjabi community.
Not with Punjabi, only in Aam, in Aam Canadian, they were not.
Okay. Not even in your workplace?
Workplace where there was no worker.
Okay.
There was 45 working girls were working under me, and none of them was,
okay.
and there was no
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you want to share about about any place that is very significant in this area historically, or you think that it's an important historical monument or anything like that?
Mm, not that I notice or like something attract me as a
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your family history and your personal story, and taking up the time for this project. We really, really appreciate it.
Well.
Yeah. Thank you.